I can't remember where I got this from. I think I was just watching a video from eddygoomba, and it was a bunch of questions asked to atheists that he was answering, and I thought they were a little bit different than what I've heard before, so I thought I'd give my own try. Sorry for not giving credit to the asker. I don't know. I don't remember. One, what in your opinion is the biggest misconception about atheism? Why is it, and what would you do to change it? That atheists are hating, that they're trying to spread hate, trying to attack or assault Christian people. No, we are protesting the hate that we and many other groups have been shown by people who choose to follow the bigoted rules written of in the Bible. Saying that slavery is wrong does not equal hate. Telling people that the Bible supports slavery, which it does in several prominent places, does not equal hate. Telling people that a book condoning acts such as slavery, rape, torture, genocide, homophobia, or discrimination of any kind should never be shown to children, and should be removed from any serious sector of society beyond the study of myths, is also not hate. Honesty does not equal hate. Showing people that they are being lied to does not equal hate. Trying to get people to wake up and reclaim their own lives does not equal hate. The only hate we're seeing is by people whose feelings are hurt because we are exposing a story that someone else wrote to be untrue and dumbfoundingly inaccurate at best. They are upset at themselves for believing it, and so they think that they're angry at me, at atheists. It's obvious. Anyway, number 2. Do you think there's extraterrestrial or extra-universal intelligence? I think the possibility is there for extraterrestrial life. We are likely extraterrestrial intelligence to some other species that evolved on a planet with a similar orbit and distance around its star, enough to support life. And given the billions and billions of planets orbiting the billions and billions of stars, it's not unreasonable to think there are many more worlds that happen to be randomly placed by the laws of physics into similar orbits and distances from their stars. Extra-universal intelligence? Who knows? It's a possibility. There's no way to not prove it, but there's no indication that there is at this point in our human understanding. So it's not much to think about until we can actually reach out that far. Let's see. 3. What in your opinion is the poorest argument for religion and why? Any argument presented by a human. We need a true spiritual representative who is readily available to everyone in large groups on a frequent basis, monthly maybe, but yearly would suffice, who can show all humanity at once that it, or the powers it represents, can do things that the laws of physics deem impossible and is impossible for any human to replicate or even special effects recreate. Until this happens, every argument for religion is the poorest argument. What would be your perfect society? Secular, non-religious, anarchic? Why? Secular, of course. We want to make sure every human gets the same rights as every other human until said human infringes upon the rights of other humans, which includes stealing, rape, murder, pedophilia. That's infringing on people's rights. That's wrong. We know that. We're atheists. We don't have to have a God to tell us that. Your God does not even tell us that we shouldn't be pedophiles, and actually supports it in a couple places in the Bible. But anyway, for which the punishment should fit the crime, rather than the ultimate torture no matter what. Secular law is the only law that makes the most sense, and has no religious brand of bigotry to appease, nor does it hinder the freedom of religious people to practice if they still choose to in the light of our collected human knowledge. Number 5. If when you die Jesus is there, how would you justify yourself to him, and what do you think his response would be? I know I've answered this a bunch of times, but rewording, you kind of try to find the better wording for things and improve as you go along. He would have to be understanding. If he knows everything, he is indeed his father, and if he is indeed his father, or part of his father, he should know that he and his father hid all the evidence of their existence from me and of their own choice, and that I could not see them as, is not my fault. When even, and I had to go, all I had to go on were easily refutable claims by humans who often have hidden agendas for making people believe in things. When even the religion they call from tells you not to trust humans, what else would they expect of me? To be stupid and fall for any bizarre claim some human told me just because they thought it was true? I'd ask it how it justifies itself. Jesus, going back to it, to God or Jesus. I would ask it how it justifies itself in letting children starve and kill each other in armies in some parts of the world, but allows greedy people to acquire more and more stuff, keeping it from those starving people, feeding themselves on their own cash, rather than being responsible and lending a hand to people who actually need it. Why are the most religious always the most rich and greedy? Because that's the show they want the people who donate the money to see. It's all backwards and bullshit. And I bet you if Jesus is up in heaven, he must not have the power to change it. Otherwise, the only other solution is that he just doesn't care. Or actually, nor does he actually love any of us. How could he if he lets this happen to any of us? Any single child being sexually abused? How could that display any of God's love or plan? It all falls apart. As long as you're honest with yourself, religion always falls apart. It's all con for rich salesmen to get richer off the gullibility of substandardly educated masses who are brought up to see ignorance as a virtue, which is why it's so dangerous for the creationism and intelligent design to be introduced into school. There is no controversy. It's all fabricated. Evolution is true. There's nothing that anyone can say that that disproves it. Which is why I know I will not be met by any Jesus. The story is too flawed, full of holes, wouldn't stand up in court, aka obvious bullshit. But on top of that, it's always being used by greedy people to feed their hunger off the dwindling money of the masses that they're telling to believe and telling to say, well, don't believe in riches because Jesus said, but we'll take all your riches for you. It's obvious.